Alright, hope everybody's having a good one. Welcome to Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024, haha, with Cookie Pirate. So this is my first stream in this game, and I've only messed around with it a little bit, so, I'm kind of going to walk through the differences between 20, and we'll set a couple flights up. I think we're going to do one in the Cirrus VisionJet, and one in the Cub Crafter's XCub. So what we're going to do is first I just need to check control settings, make sure they're on the right profiles. It looks like they are. So we're going to go into free flight, and first I think we're going to do a VisionJet flight. So I'm thinking today what we're going to do is fly the VisionJet from Hilton Head Island, South Carolina. So we'll just find a place to set up. And we're going to change our aircraft here. And we're going to configure it. This lets us choose the paint and fuel, payload, etc. I like this Alpine. Manage an EFB. This is cool because now you have this it's a little tablet that you can configure everything from, and you can see it in the aircraft. Alright, so we've got the plane selected. Next thing we're going to do is choose a destination. So from here, we could go down to or up to any of these airports over here. We could go down to the Daytona Beach area in Florida. We could go down to Orlando or Tampa. Tell you what, let's go into Tampa International. So set as arrival. And the other thing we can do is look at the flight planner. And we can just go direct. That sets us up on an approach. Looks like it's giving us 19 right. And this is cool because it actually gives a suggested runway based on the wind. The other thing you can see is... oh, so we're going to change that IFR to private. Not worried about all of that. Payload and fuel. Navlog, and we have charts for these airports. So if you click on this, this is the other cool thing in the sim. Now we have these approach charts, and now we have a airport layout diagram showing you all the runways and the taxiways and the different terminals and kind of areas where we would park. Plenty of good stuff there. Alright. And you can go into a whole ton of stuff in that. So, I think we're good to go. Let's go ahead and start flight. I'm doing this a lot differently from my regular flight sim. And that's really cool. On the world map, it zooms in instead of a loading screen. It just zooms you into your aircraft position. So it's kind of seamless. Alright, we're ready to fly, but here, we're outside the plane. Haha. So we actually, in this sim, you get to pre-flight the plane. So we would have to go and check all of these right here. Uh-oh. Oh, you've got to click on the actual items. So we've got to take this off. It's off. We're going to check all of these different parts of the plane here. So let's come under. We got to pull the wheel chocks. And we're going to go back around the wing. And it tells you to check each of these. Now you can skip the pre-flight, but it generally wants you to do them. So we just grab that and it checks out in good shape. We'll check the flap. Looks good. Now we'll come down here, check the tire. Brakes. Oh, we have to go around to the front. Yeah, this does get a little bit tricky, kind of moving around in this. Rudder Vader, because it's a V-tail. It's kind of an interesting... And you actually have to grab it and move it. Brake is good. We can check it there. Now we have to look at this flap. Looks good. We'll get down and look at the tire. And we'll look at this. Looks good. What else is left to check on this plane? Back here. Oh. Yep, alright, we gotta take these covers off. Otherwise the plane won't start. Oh, they're off. Oh, it gets both of them at once. Okay. So let's get down here and check. What was left on this too? No, we're good, I think. And we just have to look at this wheel, the nose gear. Come on. Good. Alright. Stand back up. Walk back here. We've got everything on the plane checked. Alright, now I think it's appropriate to say it because we're finally done checking the outside of the plane. Climb aboard and let's go flying. Ha! It drops this staircase that's really cool. Enter cockpit and sit down. Alright. Now, all of our checklists are also on this tablet right here, so what we're going to do is go to the aircraft and go to checklist. Do trucks create collision in this version? I don't think they do, but I actually have not had that encounter yet. We will find out when we go to an airport with a lot of moving trucks. Like, I don't know, Kodiak or Soldotna up in Alaska. Alright, so this is all good. We've done all of this. So we're just going to check all of these out. Alright, checklist is good. Now, before... What we're going to do is make sure the parking brake is set. And it is. Battery switch is on. Now, I'm not very familiar with this plane, so... Okay, here they are. So... Battery 1, battery 2. And those are on. Now we're going to get ready to start the engine, so we're going to turn the strobe light on. Thrust lever is idle. That's controlled back here. Fuel quantity miscompare. I'm not really sure what that means. Thrust is at idle. The parking brake is set, so we don't need to worry about that. Now we've got to get the engine knob, and if we're ever unsure of where something is, all we got to do is click this button and it shows you exactly where. So that is set to run. Now we're going to press this to start the engine. Oh, these are really cool. Caps safety pin. Yeah, you don't want to touch these. Emergency exit safety pin. You don't want to touch any of that. Alright, so let's take a look here. Engine instruments monitor. So we're going to reset the view and come in here and check a couple things. Ice protection, we don't need that right now. Master oxygen switch on. Oh, that's cool. Avionics initialization, the G3000 is loaded. Bleed switch must be set to bleed. Now where is that? Right here. Okay. Now before we taxi, we're not doing any of this here. GPS is set on the nav there. Altimeter, let's get the weather here on the ground at Hilton Head. This is a much more complex plane than the SR-22, and even the, well, especially the XCub. Well, hold on a second, how do we get the weather? Okay, hold on a sec. We need to look down at these for it or something, or what? That's really interesting. Do we have to do it on here? So I guess we can click on the airport. No, that's not right. Whoa. Yeah, don't mind, this is a little bit of a steep learning curve here. The wind is 160 at 4 knots, so we'll probably take runway 21 for departure here. The question is where do we have to go to get the weather? That's interesting. That's really weird, it doesn't display it right here. Do we actually have to set the frequency? Man, this is baffling. Alright, we'll tell you what we're going to do. We're going to go ahead and pull our tablet back up. And let's actually go... This might be how we have to get it. We want the airport ground short for Hilton Head. Frequencies are going to be up here, so we'll set 121.4. And we'll switch them, and that should pull the weather up. I'm not sure why we're not hearing it. Oh, here we go.
2200 Zulu. Wind 168 F4. Visibility 10. Sky condition clear. Temperature 27. Dew point 19er. Altimeter 2991. Visual runway 21 in use. Landing and departing runway 21. VFR aircraft say direction of flight. All aircraft read back hold short instructions. Advise controller on initial contact, QF Charlie.
Cool. Alright, so we got the weather information. Now we just need to go in and set the, barometric pressure, and I'm not seeing where are we supposed to do that. Now, what we can go ahead and do is go back into the checklist down here. Oh, it's this button right here. Okay. So we're set right there. Next up, we're gonna do... we don't have to worry about the transponder. Runway heading for the bug. All of the autopilot stuff is right down here, and it's set up pretty similarly to except it turns much more slowly. Holy cow. There's probably a way to adjust that. We have to set this back to runway heading, runway 21. Come on. Yeah, this thing turns really slow. Pretty much like that, but when we get out, we'll make sure that it's set. Initial altitude, we're not really worried about ATC, so we're going to set this all the way up to 30,000 feet. That's going to be our cruise altitude. Alright, 30,000 feet. Flight controls, now we're going to go out of the cockpit. Rudder's good. Ailerons are good. These function very differently from your regular because it's a V-tail. And then ailerons, slide to check that one. Ailerons are good. Trim needs to be set to takeoff, so we're back in the cockpit here. And that is right at takeoff. Flaps are already half, so that's good. Press the takeoff go around. Question is where? I'm actually not sure where that goes. Is it on the side of the throttle? No, that's auto throttle disconnect. That might be on the other side there. I don't have that programmed. We'll say it's okay. Flight director pitch 10 degrees. And I'm not really sure where we set that. We need to turn probe heat on. This is really interesting. This is a very complex plane. I need to learn a little more on how to do that. I'm not sure how to do this though. Flight director and then the parking brake, and we'll taxi out. Current loading outside display. No, that doesn't sound right. So we'll come back in, and what we're going to do is reset. Alright, that's confirmed. Whatever, how that works. Oh, here's where you would get the weather. That's the radar display. Interesting. Oh man, this is tough. This is a challenge, I'll tell you that. See, FLC, we're gonna set to 165, I think, is the standard climb. Altitude. VNav. Flight director should be on. I'm not sure how you change that there. Alright, let's go back into this and just make sure that we, we'll release the parking brake. Before that, landing light on. Pitot heater. Engine ice is required. Wing stabilizer off. Trim flaps. So we know those are good there. Let's go ahead and taxi out. We're going to runway 21. So what that's going to be is we're going to turn. We'll release the parking brake, and we're going to throttle up gently here. Oh, there's a vehicle. Well. Alright, we're clear. Throttle up. This takes a bit of power to get moving. I can tell you, this is no Cirrus SR-22. That plane... I've got that down like clockwork. This is confusing. But it's just unfamiliarity with the aircraft. I'm sure once I fly it more, it'll be... You know, it'll be, more familiar. See, it looks really good here. Oh, there's a taxiway light in the middle. Cool thing, because this is a jet, we don't have to really worry about run-ups. And we taxi up here to the end. Throttle back. Tap the brakes a little bit here. Alright, we're good right there. Let's set the parking brake real quick. And, clear that there. Let me pull the checklist back up, and I just want to look at a couple things. We'll turn the landing light on. Wing stabilizer needs to be off. Interesting. Engine ice protection. We'll turn that on just in case as we, as we climb. Probe heat is on, so that's good, and the landing light is on. We're good to go. So our normal takeoff procedure, you're going to hold the brakes. We're going to put the thrust lever at takeoff, aligned with takeoff. Hey, Bromik, welcome. We are getting ready to take off. So this is a very complex plane. It's taken me a bit longer to set up. So when we get out, we're going to roll. We're going to rotate, lift off the ground at about 85 knots. Pitch up at 10 degrees. Landing gear will bring up as soon as we start climbing, and then the flaps will come up at 115 knots. Airspeed will get up to about 165. And then when we climb out, we'll pull the thrust lever down to MCT, maximum continuous thrust. If you run it at takeoff, you can actually burn the engine out. And that can be catastrophic, or overheat something. And then we just keep an eye on the engine and pressurization. Ice is needed, and the altimeter will be set standard when we get to 18,000 feet. we release the park and brake, and I think we're ready to go here. So we're gonna taxi out. Throttle down, I don't want to roll too fast when we come out here. Alright, and we are lined up. Full power. Engine instruments are looking good. I don't know what the red is for. Pitch trim. Airspeed's alive. We're looking for 85. Up. Beautiful. Alright, we got a positive rate of climb, so we're gonna bring the gear up. And when we get to 115, we'll bring the flaps up. We're gonna lower the nose just a little bit here. Gears up. Alright. Flaps up. 800 feet, we can turn the autopilot on. We're at 700. 800 right there. And let's make sure everything is set here. Autopilot, vertical speed, VNAV, FLC to 165. Altitude going up to 30,000 here. Keep climbing. Let's go ahead and turn on course. Got a little bit of room to maneuver here. But we want to keep climbing and keep that speed about 165. Look at that, all the houses and the golf courses there. That's pretty neat. Got going the wrong way here. Heading on. FLC should be on. Autopilot for some reason came off. Now it's having us descend. I don't know why. Keep coming up here. It's starting to get hazy up here at this altitude. We're gonna slowly keep climbing here. And we should be turning to the left now. I'm not sure why that's trying to spin us around. Now we're set to climb, but for whatever reason that GPS track is not taking us the right way. Alright, power's down to 75% thrust, that's our max continuous, and all our engine instruments are looking good. Let's get turned on course here. I Love Planes, welcome, man. SF-50, yeah, this thing is a real challenge so far. I'm not really sure about the navigation right now. But what we should be going to is going to be direct. Let me actually get out of that there. We'll go flight plan. Oh, this all cleared out, that's why. At destination is going to be KTPA. We're gonna set direct. Now it should start turning us on course. We'll turn the nav on and it should swing us around. And we're at just over 10,000 feet, and we'll take a look outside. Let's go outside the cockpit real quick. So this is Hilton Head right here. This is where we took off, and we've kind of come up and around a little bit. Be right back, gotta get home real quick. Alright, be safe, man. I think what happened is we accidentally cleared out our flight plan. So we're gonna go back in here. And it's taking us direct on that route right there, so we should be fine. And it's gonna take us a bit of time to get up to 30,000 feet. We may actually level off a little lower. Like, potentially at 26. But, if we wanted to take a look around, where are we flying to? We're going down to Tampa, Florida. Is there might not be a map option on there. I mean, you have it on the screen, and we can pull the tablet up, but it doesn't look like there's a map in the sense that we use in Flight Sim 2020. So we can actually... Oh, we've got to go through and manually check all of these off. Okay. Alright, thrust levers at MCT. Now what we can do is actually, there's a button on here that you can press. You actually have auto throttle too, which is really cool because it'll automatically set the power for what you need to maintain the speed and the climb rate. Just pretty neat. Home finally in the SF-50, yeah. Giving it a shot. It's a tricky plane to fly so far in my experience. Pretty though, look at that. It's fun for me. It seems like a really fun plane, but it's definitely a bit of a challenge. Alright, up here at 14,000 feet, the temperature is 0 Celsius. It actually shows in Fahrenheit on here too. It's 31 Fahrenheit. We can turn the landing light off. Once you learn it, you're gonna keep flying it. Yeah, I mean, it really does seem like a fun plane. Got a quick view out of the cockpit. Alright, so we're just now crossing over the Florida-Georgia state line. Right here, this is the city of Savannah, and these waypoint markers are actually showing up. This is Hunter Army Airfield. This is Savannah International. This is the city of Savannah. And we are... This right here is Tybee Island in Georgia. And we have all these small islands down the way here. Hey, JP Gaming and Streaming, welcome back. It's good to see you. So we're doing a little bit over 200 over the ground. Oh no, two towers that look the same are right in front of us. No. This is a really cool looking plane. We can actually take this off. It says remove before flight, but this is a safe return button if you like in a situation, if you're flying in this plane and you're a passenger or a co-pilot, you can press this if something happens to the pilot, and it can automatically land the plane for you. This is a jet. It's a single engine jet. Don't pull it. No, I'm not going to. Alright, so let's come in and get a little bit of a look at the screen here. If we look over this way, this screen shows all our engine stuff, our map, and the different systems. So we can see the amount of oxygen. This has to be on, otherwise the aircraft won't pressurize. If it doesn't pressurize at 30,000 feet, you have about 1 to 3 minutes before you lose what you call useful consciousness, to the point that you can't make coherent decisions. And then you have probably another 2 to 3 minutes after that before you would actually pass out from a lack of oxygen. A very serious problem. Unless you have supplemental. Oh yeah, altimeter to standard now that we're at 18,000. Thanks. I knew that was coming up, and I didn't realize we'd already passed it. Otherwise, we have our map here. Now to see over on this side. Uh-oh. Oh yeah, we got a better view just looking over here to zoom in. This shows your temperature control and your fan and everything. Yeah, not much different, but rules are rules. Yeah, of course. It's a difference of about 10 actual feet. Alright, we're climbing up through 20,000 feet. We've got a little ways to go. We're climbing a little bit slower, so what we could do is reduce the speed. And, climb a bit faster. So if we wanted to do that, it's as simple as just in the SR-22. We're going to take this and just lower it. Oh, it's locked. I think there's a way to unlock that, but we're just going to leave it set because that's our climb speed profile. So in these jets, these systems actually have programs to show you the basically all the parameters of your speed and everything that you want to go at. So this is showing just a little more than an hour left to go, but once we get up to our cruise altitude, we won't have to worry about that. We'll start accelerating and picking up some good speed. Now up here we're getting only about a 9 to 10 knot headwind, which really isn't bad. Yeah, rich people crapping. AC and planes just open the air vents like a Cessna, you're right. If you wanted to take some fresh air in, air temperature is minus 14 up here. See, we wouldn't reach cruise for about another... probably another 8 minutes going at this rate. 7.5 to 8 minutes. But, yeah, tell you what, we're going to level off at 26,000, I think. get a little better performance. Alright, and if we grab a look outside the cockpit, we're actually pretty high up now. Some different places here. Barber Island. Over this way is, and that's Brunswick, St. Simons, and Jekyll Islands. And then the border with Florida is going to be right back about over here. Try using departures and arrivals? We could try that at some point, yeah. Right here is Hilton Head. This is where we took off. So of course, when you get real high up like this, you can actually see a fair bit more. You can actually, if you zoom out, you'll see a little bit the curvature of the Earth, which is kind of neat. As the sun is kind of starting to go down over the, not over the horizon, but it's got a ways to go. Let's go back into the cockpit, check out some stuff. So we got about another, now we only have another like 2 minutes or so before we get to our cruise altitude. This plane's service ceiling is 31,000 feet, but it takes a while to reach that. And let me just see what the other, oh, that's all post-flight. So, descent and everything, they don't even have the, descent checklist and stuff. Interesting thing is, I'm not really sure what the different levels are. All the stuff you may have to go through. Oh, yeah, so it just adds a few different things. And then if you go to advanced, there's a few other additional things to do. Interesting. That's different from Flight Sim 2020 for sure. Alright, 1,000 feet to go. So, there's some information on speeds. So, to bring the gear up, you can't do it above 150 knots. To bring the gear down, you shouldn't be going more than 210. And it doesn't say VLE, but I'm imagining that is 210 as well. That is the maximum speed that you can fly with the landing gear down safely. Above that, you risk damaging the landing gear. You should stream career mode sometime. I'll tell you, though, it's addicting. Seems pretty cool, but I've heard it's still really buggy. Alright, here we are leveling off at 26,000 feet. And our time en route is starting to drop pretty considerably as we accelerate. So this is really the best we're going to do, so we're only going to accelerate slowly. But yeah, we're going down, so we have a little less than an hour to go. Now, I know there's a way somewhere on here to get to checklists. Gotta take a shower real quick, be back in 10 to 15. Okay. Oh, so this is where we see the checklist and stuff. So I think what we need to do... Nope, not that. Oh, so that shows here. Oh, this has the remainder of the checklist here. Climb and cruise. Thrust levers at MCT. Ice protection as required. We're not in RVSM airspace. Descend and approach. Okay. So that's how we get that information there. And then we have landing, after landing and shutdown and everything there. I have to learn how to use all these avionics. The question is, how do we set the map back on? Map. There we go. Okay, there we go. And it's showing we're still accelerating a little bit here. And it's showing that we would have about 40 minutes to go. Is that a real-time hour, or is this like Truck Simulator where an hour is only about 15 minutes? No, this is a real-time hour. So, what it's saying now that we really have about 45 minutes. Are we going over Jacksonville, or will we be too far north? Well, I think the way that we would look at that is turn some additional things on the map. think we would have to zoom in, or actually we could just pull the map up on the tablet. So what we would do is go... Oh, we clear that out. So we'll actually be going pretty much over Jacksonville. So Jackson International is right here, but the city of Jacksonville is kind of right over here. So we'll be flying over it, and then we'll be too far north really to see Orlando. That's over here. It looks like we'll be going kind of by Ocala and then coming into Tampa from the north. And this is saying we have about 39 minutes to go right now. So the plane is still slowly accelerating. Plane is so loud, the music sounds like it's the plane radio playing. If I need to turn that down, I can adjust it quick. So it actually pauses the flight. Yeah, I'm not sure. Oh, it sounds the same. What in the world? If I need to bump the game volume down... Yeah, let me do that. That's going to be the easiest way. And I can bump the music up slightly. I don't understand I don't have to. I'm actually going to turn it down on my end slightly. I'll probably need to go in and adjust that. That should be better. It's fine. I mean, I could bump it back up to where it was, but it's just what it sounds like atmospheric. Yeah, but just the roar of the engine in the cockpit is a little bit much, even on my own. So I tweak all of the volumes that go on stream, and then I can tweak all of the volumes that I personally hear. And I'm like, man, this engine's too loud. I was trying to play around with it to get it set right. There's a way to turn all of these little dots off. These are just kind of pinpointing airports and stuff like that. Other facilities. But here we are coming up over the city of Jacksonville. This is Jacksonville International Airport right here. Is this Craig? That's Craig. Jacksonville Craig Airport Executive. Ah! Cecil, I think, and then there's a Navy Jacksonville base over here, I think. So the border with Florida and Georgia, I believe, is right here. I think this is Nope, I'm wrong. It's right here. This is Fernandina Beach. This is the northernmost airport in the state of Florida. You go beyond that, you're in Georgia. In fact, yeah, because this is Jekyll Island and this is St. Mary's Island, I believe, in Georgia. Down this way, you'd find St. Augustine and eventually Daytona Beach. Let me go back into the cockpit here. This is saying just over a half hour remaining. I think I probably should have gone with a little bit of a shorter flight in this plane. But what's cool right here is you can see the track. So we started at Hilton Head here. And we're on our way down here. So we're actually about halfway. And we're pointed to go pretty much direct to Tampa. Now, about a half hour out, we're probably going to have to start descending about 25 minutes out. So what we're going to do is we're going to come in and set up a, I'm not sure that we necessarily have to do an arrival procedure, but we can definitely choose an approach procedure. What I think we need to try to do is get the weather at Tampa. Come on, full screen back. There we go. Do we have to do it on this screen? MFD, there we go. Oh, come on. So I'm not really familiar. This is similar to the display in like the citation longitude and stuff. These jets are just so complex, I'm not used to them. Let me try getting it on the tablet. Okay, so it actually has a setup to go on runway 19 right. We may want to change that to the left. 220 at 6. Yeah, so we could really take 19 left. That's going to be closer to our parking. But we want to land to the north. Oh, keep going. Come on. let me see. Is there a way to get the weather into here? Oh, we don't want to change the airport. I've got to figure all this out. This is a steep learning curve. A complex plane and a complex EFB. Electronic flight book, I think. I don't know why it's not really giving me the weather. Whatever. The EFB is really cool. I like how you have the charts. Electronic flight book, I believe, yes. So, it used to be way back before iPads had all of this stuff on them and everything like that. You had dozens, in some cases, of books. Yeah, you guessed correctly, yeah. So, I'm actually gonna cheat. I've got Sky Vector pulled up on my second monitor, and I'm just going to take a look at what the weather there is saying. It is mostly cloudy, 10 miles of visibility, the wind is right, 29 Celsius on the ground, 29.85 is the altimeter. It may update by the time we're there. If I put in the flight tracker, we're doing 290 over the ground. And we're going at 26,000 feet. And we took off from AHXD, going to KTPA. It's saying an hour and 3 minutes, so the total flight time should be about that. That's not bad. It's going to be a tiny bit more because of climb profile and... Nope, yeah, and it was saying that our climb speed would be a little bit faster than it actually is. So we're looking probably between an hour 5 and an hour 10. It's 27 minutes. So what we're going to do is go in here and we're going to choose a procedure, we're going to choose an approach, and we're going to change this to the ILS 19 left. We're going to start it, I believe, from Bucks. We're gonna load. And that is messed up. So we're gonna set direct to Bucks and activate. Now it's telling us to descend kind of about here. Some planes, actually their computers will tell you how much time you have until you begin your descent. Quick look outside. The sun is starting to come down. This is really the southern side of Jacksonville Extended. Interestingly, a lot of people don't know this, but Jacksonville is actually the largest city in Florida. It is the largest by area and it is the largest by population. A lot of people don't know that. Because this is all Jacksonville. If you look at a place like Miami, or Tampa, or Orlando, those metropolitan areas are much larger, but the actual city proper is smaller. It's because you have all the suburbs that are different towns, but Jacksonville is large. So we grab a little bit of a look around. It's starting to get a tiny bit of haze as the sun is coming down. This is very beautiful. And this is running really well on this computer. So I'm really happy with that. Alright. It is telling us we have how much time until we need to start descending. I don't know. I'm trying to find that. It's also a major banking hub equivalent to Charlotte. You did know, that's awesome. Not a lot of people do. This plane doesn't take much to land. Because it goes slow. Like, we'll be flying at about 70 We'll probably be flying the approach at about 90 knots, and then we'll slow down to 70 crossing over the runway, which is actually only a little bit faster than what we do in the SR-22 when we come into land. So, this is nice and easy to butter for me, yeah. Alright, so basically on here, this is showing us where we're at. Top our descent is going to be right over by Ocala. That's Ocala Airport right here. Daytona Beach is straight across the water. And then we're just going to come in. And then we'll turn, line up on final approach. Now, what we may be able to do, I know we can do this in the longitude. But you see, we're going to cross this at 3,000 feet. That's kind of where we want to be. So what we're going to do is turn the altitude select down. It should not start descending the plane. It is not. Good. We're going to go all the way down. Set this to 3,000. VNAV is on, so it actually should start descending us automatically, and our auto throttle is set. So we actually, with auto throttle, we don't have to worry about controlling our vertical speed or a speed on the FLC. It's taken care of automatically. Power will automatically reduce to the configuration that we need. $80 knots in a jet like this is impressive. Well, it's a small jet. The wingspan is about as long as it actually looks like it's a little bit longer. Wider than it is long. Really is a good plane. Oh, here it is. This is what it's showing us right here. Top of descent, 5 minutes. That's how we get to it. So we have about 20 minutes to go. So this plane is actually going to book it down to the ground. It is minus 24 Celsius outside right now, 26,000 feet. That's pretty standard. A lot of people don't realize, but once you get up above about 20 to 24,000, the temperature starts dropping rapidly. So, even in areas where it's really warm on the ground, if you go up to 30,000 feet, it would probably be about minus 30 to minus 35 Celsius, which is about minus 20 to 30 Fahrenheit. And if you're up at like 38,000, it's as cold as perhaps minus 70. Is the plane landing or am I landing? I will land it. We're gonna fly. We're gonna let the plane fly the approach and navigate down, and we'll disconnect the autopilot and come in to land. This plane doesn't have auto. Well, actually, yeah, I think it actually does have auto land capabilities. But I'm gonna land it. Speaking of cold weather is too cold. Well, atmospheric conditions are like that. I've seen the temperature over Hawaii at about 50,000 feet be as cold as about minus 130 Fahrenheit. It's about minus 90 Celsius. Yeah, that's pretty cold. Can you imagine that? That's colder than the coldest temperature on Earth at the surface. But if you go higher up into the stratosphere, the temperature actually reaches about freezing. It goes way up. But you have to go several miles or kilometers high in the sky for that to happen. At that point, you're basically in space. Not per se, but for practical purposes. Alright, it's about 17 minutes to go, and top of descent, about 2.5 minutes. If we look out over here, I don't recognize much of this. I'm not all that familiar with inland central Florida. North central, I should say. But Ocala is going to be roughly over here. And that's where we're going to begin our descent. And you can actually see a little bit of the, can you? Yeah, I think a little bit of the Gulf Coast kind of... Oh no, those are... It's obscured by clouds, but I think right over here you can see a touch of it. Get back into the cockpit. After this flight, we're going to do the Cub Crafter's XCub up in Alaska. Always one of my favorite places to fly. So, interestingly, I had actually been in contact with somebody about possibly applying for a job up there, airport related, and ultimately I don't have the experience that they're looking for, which is fine, because something could come along up there at the right time, something better suited for me. Or if I get, you know, a little bit more time under my belt, kind of higher level, then that could be kind of a gateway to that. Alright, 30 seconds to go, we'll begin our descent. We have 3,000, I'm sorry, set. And we're gonna book it down to the ground. I'm surprised it actually didn't tell us to descend sooner, given that we're pretty high up, but I guess it's gonna give us a pretty steep descent rate. And it's gonna pull way back on the power to try to keep our speed going down as fast as we are in cruise, give or take. Cabin pressure right now, 6,420 feet. Alright, here we are descending. Let me make sure our autopilot is, or auto throttle is doing what it should. And it is. I see it moving slowly back. Yeah, we're on track here. We're looking pretty good. Take a quick look out the cockpit. Ocala. This is Ocala right here. And the international is actually obscured by, well, partly. You can see it a little bit right down here, but it's mostly covered by clouds. Might be going for your tower rating on VATSIM. That sounds awesome. Look at this right here. Tampa Bay Executive Airport, except you're like 2 hours north of Tampa driving distance. I'm not totally sure that that's right. Oh, man. I'm gonna go after we land. Are we still doing Planet Coaster tomorrow night? Yes. Most certainly. I'd even thought, I had so much fun doing it last night, I thought about possibly tonight, but I had told everybody that tonight was gonna be a flight sim night on the new sim, just trying to check everything out, so I'm gonna hold to that. We're gonna do a flight up in Alaska in the XCub, and we'll return to Planet Coaster tomorrow night. I think we're gonna go back to that Viking park. We made that really cool station. And, probably Saturday or Sunday I'll look at starting that new park that I talked about. That one's gonna be a lot of fun. Kind of a Yukon themed. Man, I know a lot of you watch me for the Planet Coaster stuff, but Bralmic, I really am happy to see that you're hanging out on the Flight Sim streams. So I was hoping that I'd be able to pick at least a couple people that would be interested in both, or willing to just, you know, hang out and chat. Because let's face it, when you're flying a plane and you're at cruise, it's there's really not much going on, so it's kind of like social hour in a sense. I like the flights, don't understand what you're saying most of the time, but you made these entertaining. I try, I appreciate it. And if I can ever simplify what I'm talking about, especially with a jet like this, it's extremely complex, but yeah, in some of the simpler planes like the XCub or the SR-22, it's definitely a little bit easier to just kind of cover what we're doing, but in this it's definitely tougher. This, even I'm struggling to figure out how to do everything in this plane. I haven't flown it before, but I've used other jets with similar navigation, but it's just so much more complex than the SR-22 and the XCub. I read your mind, how? I love cruising and just chatting. Heck yeah. Alright. We don't have updated weather for Tampa yet. It usually doesn't hit until about 53 or 55 after the hour. We are going to go ahead, and since we're descending below 18,000 feet in a moment, we're just going to set that to the pressure at Tampa. Alright. What I want to do is I'm going to go in here and try to find a way to have a speed set. Yeah, here we go. We're going to get the plane slowed down to 150 by the time that we reach 3,000 feet. That way we have more time to slow down to approach speed. So we'll adjust. This is saying 10 minutes until we... yeah. 10 minutes to the next point, 9 minutes actually, and about 11 minutes until we land. We'll be coming in and we'll have a good sunset over Tampa. And yeah, you can see it's starting to get a little more forested with some lakes. Here's the Gulf Coast, right over here. I've flown over this, directly over this in the real world. It is absolutely beautiful. You can actually just barely see the Atlantic coast over here. We'd be looking south of Daytona Beach. You're probably... I bet you out that way is going to be something like Cape Canaveral. Right over there. In fact, if we go back into the cockpit, that's it right there. Cape Canaveral right off the left wing. So, it is, you know, you've got the clouds over there. It's a little tough to see. But, alright, we're not at standard power or pressure anymore, so I don't know why that's flashing. It's set to 2985. Do we just need to... okay. It is a nice view, it's pretty. It's getting a little bit cloudy. Weather at Tampa was showing broken. So, we'll still have a little bit of sunny sky to perhaps catch the sunset, hopefully. Look at the moon. I flew over the Gulf at night on my way from on my way to Tampa from Atlanta. I was in coach, not in the cockpit. It was eerily dark down there. Yes. If you're flying a small plane, even over like a medium-sized lake, that can be a dangerous thing if you are not referring enough to your instruments. Because you can't see the horizon. There's no kind of landmarks on the ground like lights, etc., to give you a reference. So it can be really dangerous if you don't pay attention to your instruments. If you do, your instruments are showing you how to keep flying properly over that area. Even simple, even without a map or something like that, it's just something like this. This is telling you your flying level, your speed, your altitude. So you just refer to that, and then you know that you're flying straight and level. Alright, let's zoom in on the map here. That's a lot of detail, so what we're going to do, the cool thing about this, the SR22 has it as well. But we can go into the map settings here, and we can turn the detail down a little bit so it's less cluttered. We can just see airports and what's relevant. And, of course, the fixes that are on our route will show up. So we're good there. And this is getting bumped out a little bit, but it's still saying about 7 minutes we'll be on the ground. It'll probably be more because when we slow down, that'll go up. But I expect that we land in the next 10 minutes. We've been airborne just over an hour. And so, from the flight tracker on SkyVector was saying about an hour and 5 to an hour and 10 slowdowns and a little bit of route changes. So. Alright, the temperature now is actually 8 Celsius, so we don't have to worry about icing going through the clouds. You should be around Inverness. Oh my gosh. I can just imagine. So, unfortunately in this sim, I don't have the Cirrus SR22. There is a plane that's similar to it. If I decide to purchase the game and get the edition, I'll be able to get the SR22. But in the default version that I have the trial run on, there's a plane that's similar called the Cessna Corvallis. It's a pretty good plane. It's powerful. It has about the same performance as the SR22, but it looks considerably different. The cool thing is we get the Cub Crafter's XCub, one of my favorite planes, as you all know, and we get Tundra tires on it. So you can actually take off and land. And the best thing, one of the best improvements in this, it used to be in, or it is in the 2020 version. If you don't start from a parking space on an airplane or on an airport, you start in the air. On this, you can set to start on a parking space that maybe isn't marked, or you know, on the side of a beach, or next to like a stream or something like that out in the wilderness. It's awesome. Alright, let me come back out into here, and I want to look at our flight plan VNav. So bottom of descent at 3,000 feet. Now the cool thing, if we go to this, it's going to make sure that we comply with all of these. We won't go below 2,000 at this point. We won't go below 3,000 at this point. We can set this all the way to 0, and we will hit the right altitudes at these fixes. That's really cool. The SR22 does not do that. So we can actually set this all the way down to 0. And if we go into VNav, it still shows us reaching these. Going to be on the ground in about 5 minutes, this says. It's probably going to be a touch more. slowing the plane down for when we get to this this fix. So this is actually going to push the landing time out. So we can actually do a manual speed here. And now we can turn this up. FLC on. And we can set this to fly about 180. We are going down fast to try to pick that speed up. But we're still going to make sure that we comply with all of these altitudes and everything. And we can actually, we don't even need to do the ILS, we can do the visual approach into Tampa. The weather's not bad. I think we do have an update here now. Yep. Alright, pressure's the same, so saying scattered at 5,000, broken at 18,000. Wind is about the same, altimeter's the same, so we're still good for what we're going for right now. We're gonna level off right here at 3,000 feet. We have a little ways to go, but you can actually see the airport. You see these flashing lights right there is the airport. We may get a good view of Busch Gardens off our left wing coming in. I'm not sure. Oh, don't put that down. I did not mean to click that. That could have been a problem, but I think we stopped it in time. Zoom in on the map a little more. And when we get to this point right here, it's actually going to put us right on track. The next thing we're going to do is actually switch this back to the FMS. That's going to slow us down to 150. So that we're at that right speed hitting there. We're going to go in now and procedure, approach, activate approach. And that's going to set us on, and this will shift once we turn, and it'll basically fly the track down for us. Oh, do not accelerate to 250. What in the world? No, 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 no. Alright, we're going to turn the speed back to manual and turn it down. FLC back on. Get that speed back down. Tampa executive. So we'll probably get a glimpse of Busch Gardens. We zoom way in. I think it's over here somewhere. It's really tough to pinpoint right now. All those city lights are kind of bright. Beautiful view of downtown Tampa right there. Alright, and it's continuing us on a descent. Alright, auto throttle is off, so we're flying now. So power low. Let me see what our speed on the flaps is. Half flaps, 190, we're good. We can go half flaps. And we can go full flaps below 150. Or actually, we should be set on the approach. Why is it leveling us? Alright, that's not good. We don't want that. Let's add some power in. And we're going to fly this by hand. I feel pretty confident that we can do this. Let's make it a butter. I don't know. First time flying this plane. First time landing it. We go ahead full flaps. Trim down. Butter means like a really smooth landing. Alright, we're going to add a touch of power in here. We're a little bit slow, but we're okay. Busch Gardens would be right off to our left a couple miles further. Can't really see it right now. Alright, gear down. Most important thing. We don't usually have to do that because most of the planes that I fly don't have gear. Retractable gear. We're a little bit low, so what we're going to do is just level off right here. We're going to add some power in. Not too much. Unlike the Cub Crafters and the Cirrus SR-22, which are prop planes, your jets actually take a little bit of response time for your power setting. So there's a slight delay. 1,000 feet to go. We're looking okay, though. We're flying visual. We're on course. This is looking good. Lights are too bright. A little bit. Nice and easy coming in. Got good speed. We can pull back a little bit on the power here. Maybe just a tiny bit low. I think we're okay.
500.
Yep, let's slow down because we want to pass over the runway about 75 knots. So we can take that power out and just continue this approach. We're a tiny bit low. We have 3 reds and 1 white on the PAPI, which are those lights to the side of the runway. Precision Approach Path Indicator is what that stands for. Now we're going to add power and we're too slow. Pull back. You have to do really fine adjustments on the power in this plane on approach. Alright, now we have 4 reds. We're actually a bit lower than we should be. Now we've got 1 white. We're looking good. Went right at 79 knots. Take the power out. We're going to start dropping. Nope, we're a little bit slow. Add that power back in. Here we go. Yep, we're starting to drop a little bit here. Come on. Nice and easy. Back off on the power. We got to float this thing to the ground. We're touching down a little bit further than we should. Had we done that right. Flare. Up. Come on. Barely flying. We're on the ground. There we go. Very nice. And we're just going to roll, because our parking is on the southeast side of the airfield. So what we're going to do is roll past the intersecting runway, which runs east to west. And then we're going to, we can actually keep a little more power in there. Not that much. Make small changes on the power. Let's go flaps up. This is the intersecting runway right here. Once we get past it, there's a taxiway that we'll take. We're going to follow these green lights that lead off to the left. Ladies and gentlemen, we'd like to welcome you to Tampa, Florida. While you're here, I highly recommend you go check out Busch Gardens, which is an awesome park. Alright, we can hit the brakes here. And a little power up. And let's taxi in. It's going to be a left turn right here and then an immediate right. We're just following these green lights. Take these right here. And we can go straight ahead. Oh, it looks like they're going to park us right over here. Good with that. Thank you for the lovely flight. Have a good Alaska adventure. See you tomorrow. Bromick, thanks so much for hanging out. I appreciate you. Have a great evening. Alright, it's telling us to keep turning a little bit this way. Bump up on the power a little bit here. Come on. Don't walk in front of the plane. Alright, and stop right there. Set the parking brake, and I don't know how to shut this plane down, so let's go into the checklist and look. Alright, post-flight shutdown. Thrust is idle. Engine ice protection is off. I don't think we had it turned on. Oh, we did. Alright, turn it off. The lead switch will go to fresh air. That is right there. Master oxygen switch off. We'll turn all lights off. Generator switches off. That's these two right here. Engine knob. That's this right here. We'll turn that to off. And we press that button to stop the engine. N2 below 24%. There it is right there, below 24, so that's a good sign. Now we can turn the battery switches off. Parking brake is set. And that's the flight. Alright. See you later, man. Oh, I love planes. Are you heading out or are you telling Bromick? See you later. Alright, open up the doors. Oh, we're out. Alright, well, let's walk up. Hello, sir. Hello, sir. And beautiful. That's the end of the flight right there. Takeoff, number 1. Remaining on your flight, 7 hours, 37 minutes, and 8 seconds. What? That doesn't make any sense. What a beautiful view. Alright. Next up, let's go to Alaska. We're going to fly the Cub Crafter's XCub. And the state, unfortunately, looks like it's starting to cloud over. We have a couple places we could go. What if we did, well, instead of staying in Alaska, we could do... Yeah, because it's pretty cloudy over most of the state, unfortunately. It's a little more clear down here in the southeast. Not great. But it's actually beautiful in the Yukon. That'd be an ultra long flight. Tell you what we're gonna do. We're gonna load in at Dawson in the Yukon territory. Cub Crafter's XCub. Configure the airplane. We're gonna go, we've got big wheels. Alright, so let's go back out of here into... So we've got the aircraft that we want. And we're gonna load up on the ground here at Dawson. Let's find a parking space. Looks like it's gonna be somewhere over here. Set as departure. Looks like there's pretty good weather. And we're gonna fly up to Eagle in Alaska. It's actually one of my favorite places to fly. I think we're going to try to go at about no, actually, because we're going west. So we're probably going to try to go about 6,500, maybe 4,500, just depending. So what we'll do now is we've got this all set up. And this is telling us it's going to be about 36-minute flight, 77 miles, and we're going to burn about 6.5 gallons of fuel. We may actually have to follow the riverbed. Next thing I want to know is... What I'd like to try to do is set the weight and balance. So we're gonna go 0 passengers. And we're going to take, let's take 100 pounds of cargo. That'll help weigh the tail down a little bit. And we're going pretty light. We're not going to need much fuel. We're going to bump this up a little bit higher than that. Let's take 50% fuel. Now we're going to go into the flight plan. Since we're going VFR in the XCub, let's just set 065 for now. Alright, we've got that loaded up. Now let's get in the XCub, climb aboard, let's go flying. Out of order that I say that, but... And here we should dive into... Oh yes, here we go. Oh, look at that! That is absolutely gorgeous. Look at the trees. They're changing color. Wow! That's that seasonal effect that they were talking about in this version of the sim. Whoa! That is super cool. Ready to fly. Let's do our pre-flight. Baggage door is closed. So we're all good there. Check that. Let's come back around this way and just check a couple things. We're gonna get low. Check the tail wheel. It looks good. The rear strut looks good. Let's check the rudder. Good. Elevator. Aileron is good. Flap is good. Take that off. Pull the wheel chocks. Tires good. Brakes are good. Wing strut is good. We'll look at this one. Good. Oh, and that's really cool. Look at what's on the tire. Alaskan something. Alaskan bush wheel with the layout of the state on it. That's really neat. Alright, let's get up here. We'll get to take these engine covers off. It would usually have you look at the prop. That might be a more advanced thing. Check the oil. Why is he in the plane? I thought I set it to 0 passengers. That is like the co-pilot that you can set. You can close that. That looks good. That's good. And the flap is good, and it looks like our pre-flight is done. Let's go ahead and get in the airplane. Pull the checklist up. Now, I'm more familiar with how to run this plane. It still doesn't hurt just to look through all this, though. He just wanted to join. I guess he wants to go to Eagle, too. Alright, let's make sure our parking brake is set. Good. Alright, flight controls real quick out of the cockpit here. Flaps. Those are all good. Flight controls, rudder's good, elevator is good. These move so smoothly in this. It's glitching out the fence over there a little bit, but no worries. Alright, back into the cockpit. And we'll pull this up here. Fuel looks good. Fuel selector cycle and set to fullest tank. Well, they're both the same. He was about to call the Uber, but there you are with your plane flying to the place he had to go, right? Alright, so that works well. So we'll set the left tank. Ignition switches are both off. Mixture is... Let me make sure it works in this. It does. Perfect. Prop RPMs here should be full. Carb heat is cold. That's off. That's good. Electrical switches are all off. Now we'll turn the master switch on. It's the battery switch right there. And we turn the avionics over here on. Now we're going to turn the fuel pump on. And we want to make sure that's increasing. It's good. We can shut it off. Alright, those are all good there. Trim disconnect, I'm actually not sure where that... I don't know how to disconnect that. Operate trim control and press the disconnect button. Similar. Amber light should illuminate. Yes, it does. Good. Press and release, that's good. Amber trim light is off. A separate takeoff is we want it about level with the tail. So we'll come back out and look at it, and yeah, that's where we want it, so we're good. Back into the cockpit. Nav and strobe lights. Check operational. they're good. Landing and taxi lights. We don't have taxi lights in this plane. It's all just a landing light. Mohammed Sinan Shah. Hello, welcome. Stall warning horn. Yeah, we just gotta check these breakers. That looks good. We don't really have to set those off. So we'll come into this here. Start the engine. Oh, this is all the same that I'm used to. So what we're gonna do here is reset that. Alright, startup is gonna be pretty much the same as before. So we'll have those on. Mixture is gonna go full rich. Clear left, clear right. And zoom out just a little bit here, turn the key. Clear! Alright, engine's running. Temperature's coming up, oil pressure looks good. So we're set there. Let's go ahead and set up a couple things here. Altitude. We're gonna set that to 4,500 feet. No, we're gonna go at 6,500. Sorry about that. We'll lower to 45 if we need. Airspeed, we'll set the FLC. Oh, it's reversed now. We're scrolling down to increase it. 70 knots. We'll turn nav mode on. And we'll turn the autopilot on when we get going here. So we're set back in here. Let's go ahead and clear and start taxiing out. The weather at Dawson right now is showing... Zooming up here. About 77 degrees Fahrenheit. It's 25 Celsius. It's good. Wind 040 at 7, so we should actually take runway 3 instead of 21. So that means what we're going to do, we'll release the parking brake and begin taxiing on over here. We come out of the cockpit here and look. So we're gonna actually have to come out here and stop before we get to the runway. Ooh, you see the tail hop a little bit right there. Alright, let's go back into the cockpit, do a quick run up. This is all gonna be the same as we normally do in the other sim. JP, the Halloween costume creator, you're back. Welcome. Alright, so we're gonna bring the power up to get about 2,000 RPMs on the oh, it's gotta come up a little bit more than that there. Alright, first thing we're going to do is see all the engine instruments are looking good. We're going to cycle the prop. We're going to pull back. We should see a little bit of a drop. Oh, and it drops way down in that case. That's actually functioning much more like it should. And we'll cycle that a couple times. Now we'll check the mags, so we're going to turn this left switch off, and we should have a drop of about 50. That's good. We'll check the right one. Also, it's me, JP, from earlier, just a different channel. I figured, yeah, I recognized. So, yeah, welcome back. Alright, go ahead and turn that one back on. Now we're going to pull the power back, and it should idle somewhere around 600 RPMs. And that is good. Pressure's dropping a little bit. That's doing what it should. So we're going to go back up to about 1,000 on the power, on the RPMs. Set the power for 1,000 RPMs. Touch more. We're going to set the flaps to 1 for takeoff. And we should be about ready to go. Release the park and brake. And let's get ready to taxi out. We're going to go down to the end of the runway and do a 180.
The summer's calling. If the kingdom is overthrown, meet me at the cornerstone. I know that I can't be without you. This bond is solid gold. We're a diamond and an emerald.
We can put a little bit of speed in.
Forever to find you. 'Cause when it's all over, the love that you give will be there to guide you in every way.
This airport looks really nice. Just take a look around. I think that's enough. We can actually just turn around. So what we'll do is just kind of turn toward the edge here. And we'll circle around nice and easy, not too hard on the rudder there. And let's get, see it rock a little bit, but that's also partly because we have the bigger wheels. You know it's me, because I always say I'm back like that. That's my little slogan. I gotcha. That's all good. Alright. Now we are ready for takeoff. So what we're going to do... zoom in just a little bit so we can get a slightly better view here. We're going to hold back stick. The brakes. We're going to power up. Engine instruments look good. We're going to lower the elevator a little bit, release the brakes, and start rolling. Airspeed's alive. We're looking for about 51 to lift off. There we go. And we're up. Positive rate of climb. Let's lower the nose just a little bit here. Let's gain a little bit more altitude. That's looking good. Flaps up. Beautiful view right there. Now we're going to go ahead and start a turn. We're high enough up. Keep climbing here. This looks pretty fun to play. Oh, Flight Sim's a blast. I love it. And we're just going to fly this way over the water for now. Let's keep power up. We can turn the autopilot on, actually. Let me just make sure these are all set. Airspeed is on. No, that should keep us going up. Keep going up. There we go. And how about a quick look outside? Starting to fly over some of these foothills here. This is the Klondike River. And you can see in some areas here kind of where the these are like all the piles of dirt where people have mined over the years, over the century, since the Klondike Gold Rush. Actually, what do you use to record? I use OBS Studio. That's what I use as well. Alright, we're back in. And what we can actually do is just pull back on this a little bit to bring those RPMs down about 2650. Right about there. We're doing 93 knots over the ground. That's some pretty good speed. Got another beautiful view outside. Once we pass over this hill, we'll get a really good glimpse of the town of Dawson. And look at all the hills out here. That is beautiful. Here's the airport. This is where we took off from. There's actually a little small, not really a village, but just some kind of extra stuff going up this way. Yeah, isn't OBS easy and reliable? It's fantastic. It's the best one that I've ever used. And here we are already almost up to 6,500. This plane climbs really well. Front of the plane looks like a small little face. Yeah, it does. Yeah, it's I have a couple viewers that'll occasionally make jokes and say the plane is smiling at you. Alright, Dawson, the community actually sits back here, but once we get over to the Yukon River, we should get a pretty good view of it. Given the direction we took off, which is actually not usual, I don't think we're going to get as good of a view. If we take off the other way, you kind of have to fly along the Klondike River. Alright, now we're up here at cruise. What we can do is this lean assist. We're going to lean the mixture. So we're going to pull back on this red knob a little bit here. And we're going to see these green bars start rising up toward the yellow line. And then they're going to turn blue once they start going back down. And we'll know kind of where to fine-tune the... Because it is smiling at you, yeah. Coming back on the mixture a little bit here. See, those green bars are rising. I don't want to come back too far on that, but we're doing fine. That's actually pretty far out. It usually leans before that. Yeah, and we went too far, you can see. So we're going to bump this back forward a little bit until those green bars come back. So once they change from blue to green, we know we have it in the right spot. Good, right there. So we're just going to leave it there. Alright, there we go. Now we have a view. So let's come back outside, and if we zoom in, we're not really getting a great view because we're far back, but the city of Dawson actually sits right back here. Here, hold on, I'm gonna go on one of my special and many channels. Alright, man. Have a great time. Airport sits right back there. And these are all just the foothills in the Klondike. It's one of your other channels. Alright, good deal. So really easy flight. I'm going to pull this up and we'll go into the map. Our route for this flight is we're basically going right along the Yukon River up here to the city of, or it's a village really, of Eagle, Alaska. So this right here is the end of a section of airspace. The border with Canada sits right about here. So we're just a couple miles into Alaska when we land. It's a very pretty place to fly. And we can click back on that and have our terrain view. Another? Yeah, oh, that's, yeah, I think that's the one that I saw the other day. Maybe not. Dale, what's going on, man? Pull up and pull out. Oh, man. F&AF enthusiast, welcome. Found that as suspicious as I did, you're not alone. Oh, it's still you. Oh, okay. Nice. Man, how many alt accounts do you have? That's a pretty substantial number. Don't know how many you have, really. Too many to count? Oh man, that might be a sign. Yeah, really pretty view of the Yukon. And basically, we're following the river all the way up, and I believe that little dot over there is pretty close to Eagle, where we're going. Or no, because that's off to the side. That might be another small airport or something. We come back into the cockpit. It's not telling us how far we have to go. This might. Let me pull this view up. You can make more. Oh, that's up to you. Interesting, it's not telling us how much time remaining, but let's do a little math. 114 knots over the ground, and we have 44 or 49 miles to go. So that sounds like it would be a little under a half hour. 10 Celsius up here at 6,500 feet. Really unseasonably warm weather for the Yukon, especially the interior this far north. Usually by September you start getting temperatures lower, like in the 40s Fahrenheit or so. Yay, nay, PC2 tonight? Probably not. I will be doing it tomorrow. I had too much fun. I almost considered it tonight, but I told everybody last night that I was planning on doing all flight sim. This is the new sim too. This isn't the regular one that I do. So I think tomorrow I'm gonna do one flight in this, and then we're gonna do PC2 the rest of the evening. And we're gonna go back to that Viking Park, keep building that really cool station that everybody was raving about. You're going to go cry? Don't do that. Fly a plane. Hey, look. You can't cry when you've got a plane that's literally smiling at you. Oh, man. Cedar Fair, Cedar Point enthusiast. There you go. Ah, true. Yeah, I told you. It'd be a lot cooler if you did, yeah. We're doing it tomorrow for sure, though. This is my other account. Hold on, I'm going to make 3 more. Yeesh. Looks like it's starting to get a little bit bumpy up here. There's some light turbulence, it's not bad. Feels a little lower on that side. Got more over here. So we're gonna go ahead and take this fuel selector, switch to the right tank. Alright, I can see Eagle up in the distance, I believe. It's gonna be this, where this little white point up here. So we are, if we glance at this, we're just under halfway.
We are the apocalypse and a path that keeps us floating. As we
Oh, look at that down there. That's pretty.
as the night won't scare us falling. We're too great to be landed. We're too great to be standing.
Choppers, fly battle like choppers, better took those risks. One of my fists, we fire starters. One out of a million will reach those heights. Always had a feeling that I won't deny that work. Never could toss me, look at my eyes, I'm on the rocks.
And as you can see, we're just kind of following the Yukon River. Grab a quick look outside. The main river, the Yukon, is running kind of off our left, and it's kind of winding in between some of these hills. And you can see it follows up that way, and then it's going to curve up this way, and then it kind of really snakes through a lot of here, up toward Eagle. Taking a look ahead at the weather at Eagle, I've got it pulled up on Sky Vector charts. It is showing a bit breezy, 140 at 7, gusting to 16, so we're actually going to have to fly past the airport and circle around to get in. 10 miles visibility, clear skies, 25 Celsius on the ground over there too. It's really big temperature swings. It was actually -2 yesterday morning, and then it got up to like +19, and then this morning it was like +6. So there's actually some really substantial temperature swings from early in the morning until late in the day. Of course, up there right now, it's almost 5 in the evening. Unseasonably warm up there right now. And you're back. You made another one. Bro, become a pilot on Delta Airlines? No. Not quite. I do have a private pilot's license in the real world, but not commercial. right up here is where the Yukon really starts to kind of swirl right in front of us. Beautiful. So, relative to where we're at, Dawson is over here, Eagle over here. If you were to go straight west, pretty much, you would run into Fairbanks. If we kept going northwest past Eagle, you'd eventually reach a town called Circle City, and Central, which is another one of my places I really like to fly in or out of. And then Fort Yukon up here, which sits on the Arctic Circle. And in the other sim, we've been in and out of Whitehorse many times. That's further down here, like right here. It's about a 2-hour flight in this plane. It's about an hour in the Cirrus SR-22. And then if you go further north up here, you run into a town called Old Crow, which is a native village. Only has about 200 people living there, I think. And then there's the Arctic coast. So we're looking like we're about 2/3 of the way, and we should be there in about, I would say about another 15 minutes we should be on the ground at Eagle. I'm almost tempted to do one more flight, but I probably won't. If I do, I don't think I won't stream it. There's another airport right there, although I don't think that's on the actual Canadian charts. So I'm a little baffled by that. If we zoom way in, just about as far as we can go and look off the nose, so we can see Eagle's right over here, and the airport's gonna sit kind of right back here. So we're gonna fly past it and come around and land this direction because of what the wind is doing. We could actually zoom in a little on the charts here. We're probably about 15 miles from crossing the border into Alaska, out of the Yukon. So that has us flying something really interesting. I don't know why it's doing that. Oh, I see what it's doing. It's just setting us up to come in on a traffic pattern. Okay. That makes sense. I don't know what this up here is. Yep, so we can see, we can actually see the airport right here. It's just below the river where that curve is, and the village actually sits right above where the river curves. Yeah, so we're getting pretty close. Whoa. Not really much out here. It's very remote. Spectacularly beautiful, though.
There's a distance between us. It's getting hard to reach out. Haven't seen you in seasons, but all I hear is your voice. I know my limits.
Alright.
You can break me down.
Now I look at a little bit of airport information for Eagle. The field elevation is 907 feet, so we'll want to get down to about 2,000. And we have
Time now, just to see you again. And I
about 7 to 8 minutes to go remaining in the flight. And if we go down at minus 1,000 feet per minute, it'll take us 4.5 minutes to descend down to 2,000. So we can continue flying at this altitude for a couple more minutes, and then we'll start our descent. We want to go in here and change a couple settings. We actually can do that. We can leave those off for now. Main menu. That lets us kind of see a couple other things there. These are disabled. Yeah, all the stuff that's grayed out you can't really do anything with. This is actually pretty cool though, it shows your relative altitude and stuff. So we'll leave that as is. And we're about 9 miles away, so we should get ready to start descending here. So what we're going to do is we're going to reduce the power. We're going to disconnect the autopilot. And we're just going to get ready to fly. Let's reduce that power. We want to maintain about 100 knots. There's the Eagle Airport right there. The village is over here. This right here is a very small community called Eagle Village. Not to be confused with, but I think it actually counts as part of Eagle, per se. It just has a slightly different name, and it's isolated by a few miles. It's starting to get bumpy coming down here, though. Alright, we're gonna do a couple things to get ready here. We're gonna turn the landing light on. We're gonna start enriching the mixture. That needs to be full rich by the time we're on final. Oh, and you can see it too. You see this line that runs through the terrain? Like right down through here. That is the border between the Yukon and Alaska. This is Eagle Village. And it is bumpy up here. We are all over the place. It is breezy up here. Alright, we don't want to get too fast here. But we are getting bumped around a lot. We're in Alaska. So we're flying right over Eagle Village right now. That's it right there. And we'll get a good view of the actual town of Eagle up ahead. We want to level off at about 2,000 feet. And what we're actually going to do is turn out this way and set up on course for what they call a traffic pattern.
Started as a whisper, message from a new world I'd never known.
Alright, we need to add a little bit of power.
Something about it felt like
And we'll keep turning here.
I've been waiting my whole life. Is there
Add a little bit of power. We're down at that 1,000 feet that we need to be at. 1,000 above the airport. We're actually about 1,200, but that's fine. Alright, what we're gonna do is level off right about here and hold that altitude. I'll hold that speed. We can actually go flaps 1, and we'll do that in a moment. Once we get to the, it's what we call a beam, the other end of the runway. So once we look off our wingtip, and we're at that point, we can go ahead and add. It is bumpy. Ladies and gentlemen, please make sure you're fastened your seatbelts and your tray tables are up. Oh wait, we don't have tray tables in this. It's a small plane. Now we're about 800 above.
I can't help but think that it's meant to be.
So we are losing just a little bit of altitude. There's the airport. Right off our wing here, that's where we're coming in to land.
If I let you into the secret, would you listen? I can hear
And we don't want to fly into the ground, so we have to be careful because this terrain rises. We need to pull back on the power, get slowed down, and what we're going to do is that first notch of flaps. Get the plane slowed down. We're going to start turning our base leg. Notice how we're kind of flying the box, but you can't go off of that that specific navigation because it's not 100% accurate. It doesn't account for terrain all the time. And we're gonna go ahead and circle back around to the runway. The town of Eagle is right here. Beautiful little community. And we flew right through the course because we were getting pushed. So we've got room. We're a bit slow. We can go full flaps at this time. And we're just gonna keep the plane nice and slow. We're gonna add a little bit of power in. Mixture full rich. And we're good. And we're just looking to come in nice and easy toward the runway here. Pilot, yeah. This is a tricky airport to fly into, especially this direction. It is breezy. We've got good speed. We're probably actually a tad bit slower than we need to. But we're stable, so we're okay. Drop speed over the runway. Look at that. The windsock is blowing almost outright. We're gonna cut the power and just float right down to the runway. Hold and pull up just a little bit. We're down. That was a little bit rough. But we're on the ground. And we're on the brakes. That actually wasn't bad. So if we come out of the airplane and look around, we just have to kind of maneuver a little bit. We can bring the flaps up right away. Prevent us from going airborne again. And we're going to fall back on the power just a little bit here. And we're just going to turn kind of right up along the edge here. Spin back around and taxi down to that ramp up ahead, the parking area. Really pretty view though over this way, so we just kind of roll slowly. Of course the Yukon River continues and then it curves up there, eventually running kind of out of some of these mountains and hills into the river flats up past Circle City and Fort Yukon. Which would be about another 45 minutes north. Probably even more, actually, in this plane. Hold on a sec. Oh, he's turning around right there. Okay, interesting. I was gonna say, I hope he doesn't come out on the runway. Alright, we're gonna hit the brakes here. Get our speed slowed down just a little bit. Whoops, pop back up, we have a better view. These tires are large and they're heavier, so it kind of feels like you bounce a little bit, but they are set to absorb the shock of landing. They're really cool. Alright, so we're set in here. I hit the brakes gently, not hard. You see how it kind of pops up a little bit. You've got to be really careful when you're taxiing this plane. Let's keep rolling. Let's see where they're having us park. Is there... Yep. Oh yeah, he's right there. So let's come up forward. Turn the landing light off. And we can start turning around. Kind of spin here to the right very gently. And he's signaling that he's going to park us, so we're going to go ahead and line up. It's tough to see over the nose in this plane. Let's go out of the cockpit and grab a slightly better view. Cut that power and start on the brakes, telling us to turn and stop right there. You see that tail lifts up off the ground a little bit there. Got the engine, so we can set the parking brake. Let's go into the cockpit here and get ready for shutdown. So what we're going to do, the first thing is turn the avionics off and these lights off. And then we're going to pull back on the mixture until the engine shuts off. Just like that. Then all that's left is to just shut everything else off and get out of the airplane. That's it. And we can turn the key. Oh no, that one, you don't turn that key off in this plane. I forgot about that. And if we do this, we actually step outside the aircraft. And you can walk around. So there's the plane right there. Where to next? I think that's gonna do it for me. I've been on almost 3 hours. I've got to get up and do a few other things. I've still got work tomorrow. I'll be looking at where I would want to do my next flight for tomorrow, and then, like I said, we'll be doing plenty of Planet Coaster tomorrow. So, all right. Well, here we are. Welcome to beautiful Eagle, Alaska. Look that direction. That there's Canada. You're right here. You're like 3 miles from the border. And that's right back the direction we came. So. Alright. Oh, we have this here. FCR embedded. They have a replay. Oh, so what you can do is actually go in, and if you want to record a flight or something like that, you can do all that. Just skip work tomorrow, please. No, I can't do that. I would love to, but I cannot do that. So. Yeah, absolutely beautiful little community here. Eagle is one of my favorite places to fly into. It's challenging getting into this airport, though. But, fun, rewarding views. I really enjoy it. So. Alright, well that's gonna do it for this one. I'm gonna jump off for the evening. Thank you all so much for flying with me. This was fun. I'm really liking this new simulator. I think I'm gonna start using it more. And, eventually I'll pick up a copy of it, and we'll do our flights in this from now on, I'm supposing. So. Alright folks, thanks again. We'll be on tomorrow with one more flight. Can I go to Turks and Caicos? Possibly. I'd have to look into kind of how to plan that out and stuff. But we'll look into it. So, we'll pick up with one flight tomorrow. I'm thinking we might try that Corvallis, which is very similar to the Cirrus SR-22. But I haven't decided on that yet. And then we'll be doing plenty of Planet Coaster later in the afternoon, evening. So, alright, with that, I'm going to cut it here. Thank you all so much again. Appreciate each of you. And as always, until tomorrow, take care, stay safe, we'll see ya.